What's good, collective? Thank you so much for tapping in with me again. You know who it is. It's your girl, Yaya. All right, fam. Someone could be coming to a end of a cycle. All right, you're ending a cycle here. Okay, there could be some secrets that are coming out. There could be some things you're figuring out. All right, figuring out something intuitively, possibly about a connection, a relationship, or yourself. Okay, the Nine of Swords just came out. All right, I'm gonna put that on the bottom, and then I'll show you what I have here. So there's an end of a cycle that someone is experiencing. There's a transition. Okay, you're starting to see the truth for what it is. All right, and the not the untruth for what it is. I'm gonna say the lie, but the untruth for what it is. Okay, and you're detaching from this. You may also be feeling a bit vulnerable right now, right? As you are detaching, as you are closing out a cycle here. All right, let's look and see what we have, okay? We have the moon, end of a cycle, transitions, fertility, secrets being revealed, higher wisdom, figuring out something intuitively, magic. Okay. We have balloon, full of empty promises, lost, superficial, easily persuaded, vulnerable, detachment, and fragile. And we have exploring. There are many more things for you to discover, so don't give up. And we have stay awake. Amidst confusion and intense crisis, seek the light of understanding and resolve. So if you're feeling vulnerable right now, if you're experiencing something, if you're discovering things about yourself that, because even in spiritual discovery and exploration, even in spiritual growth and elevation, and when certain spiritual gifts begin to come online and things like that, it can bring with it a certain vulnerability, because you're still in the learning curve of how to master yourself and how to know exactly how to apply the things that you're hearing, the downloads that you are receiving. Okay. So if this is not a crisis, so to speak, as in something traumatic is taking place, or an end of a relationship or end of a connection, this could just be you expanding spiritually. And so with it, transitions are taking place. Okay. You're figuring out some things intuitively. You're finding and discovering your personal magic and your divine design. And there's a vulnerability, all right, that can come with that. All right. But spirit is saying that there is more outside of this. There is more learning, there is more exploring that you are going to go about doing. Now, with what you have already tapped into, there's a need to not give up. Okay. You could be in a dark night of the soul. All right. And so there could be a lot of, yes, things taking place spiritually, awarenesses taking place spiritually, right? And that can bring in a certain chaotic energy, okay? A certain confusion, all right? But in the midst of that, you're going to receive some understanding here, all right? You're going to receive some resolve. Okay, again, the Nine of Swords. This is about spiritual gifts, intuition, clairs, things of that sort. Um, awakening, awakening as well. Clarify the moon, spirit. Let's see what's going on. We have the Ten of Wands. So this transition right now is heavy. Okay, usually, awakenings are. They usually are. Um, you could feel a little bit imprisoned to the burden of what's being revealed. Okay. That burden turns into a beautiful passion later on. Okay. But it can feel a little heavy right now, because you're again starting to see the untruths as they are. You're starting to see the truth. You're also starting to possibly, for someone in the collective, you're starting to realize how deep the deception, um, the trap, the trick of it all, and how that's being played out on the general world, the population, the masses, but more importantly, in what way it applied itself to your life. And when you're just coming into a dark night of the soul and you are discovering the truths and the untruths, you are unlearning and relearning, it can be heavy because you just have these moments where it's like, I can't believe I fell for that. Right? You have these moments where you realize how masterfully the trap has been set. Okay? One thing we cannot say is that whoever created the illusion of the system, we cannot say they stupid. Uh, eh, we might not be righteous, they might not be good people, but we cannot say that they are stupid. Okay, when you really start peeling back the layers of that onion, and you see how deep it goes and how many ways they have employed these traps to keep the soul and the spirit and the creativity and the vibrance and the light suppressed. You can have these moments where it's like, I just can't believe it, you know. um so clarifying the 10 of wands, we have the 5 of pentacles, worry. Okay, being left out in the cold, needing healing. All right, needing healing. mm. So someone is absolutely in a, I feel like, a dark night of the soul. I feel like you're transitioning, you're healing, you're coming out of the entrapment of the mind, of the heart, of the emotions. The Knight of Wands, the rock star. This is the ego. Yeah. The things that we've been taught to idolize, we've been kind of trained to take part in, to allow ourselves to be entertained by, and the need to heal that. Yeah. So there's a healing taking place at the ego for someone in the ego. Okay. The ego is actually, when you have an unhealed ego, it kind of works overtime, and sometimes it can kind of be counterproductive. It's trying to keep you from feeling, from hurting, from being re-traumatized, and so it kind of is a little bit hyper when it's unhealed. But once you start breaking down the things that trigger that need for the unhealed ego to jump in front of those bullets, those, to keep you from hurting or whatever, once you heal that and bring balance to it, the ego becomes a wonderful ally. All right, a wonderful ally. So there's a healing here, there's a transition, and right now it may feel a little bit heavy. That will pass, because the 10 of wands in the reverse is about burdens, yes, but it's in the upright, it's about um putting down those burdens. 5 of pentacles, being left out in the cold. Okay, it's a journey. If you look at the traditional 5 of pentacles card, yes, they are out in the cold, but they are in motion, they are in movement, they are moving. They're not standing there shivering. They're shivering, but they're walking, they're moving. So this is a healing in process. Okay, a healing in process. Clarify the balloon card, full of empty promises. It landed, then it started spinning. Okay, so we have the page of swords in reverse. These are the untruths. These are the things that you believed in the past that um was predicated upon conditioning. All right. These are the untruths that conditioned you. And you detaching from these untruths. Yeah, the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups. That's giving that therapist energy. Again, healing. Again, communication. Unpacking the untruths. Mm-hmm. The Eight of Pentacles. You're researching, you're studying, you're learning, you're self mastering. Okay. And in doing that, you're looking deeper. You're looking deeper into what is being said, what is being done, what is being shown, what is the quality, what is the nature, what is the texture, what is the quantity, what is this? You understand? Like, so there is a detachment from these untruths as you are investigating, as you are learning, as you are growing, as you are sharpening your skill sets, tapping into your talents and the truth surrounding those talents. Someone could be a magician, you could be a witch, you could be spiritual, okay? And so there could be a lot of things that you're learning about spiritual workings, okay? Spiritual workings that have been deemed, evil by most of society, okay, by the constructs of religion and social and cultural normative ideas about spiritual things and spiritual works. You are looking into the truth. We have the Eight of Wands. That is fast communication, something coming in quickly. You're unlocking it very quickly though. We have the Emperor. You're quickly moving into this Emperor energy. Okay. You could be doing a lot of communicating and a lot of researching about what is being communicated from leadership, right? Leadership over the world, leadership in certain structures, organizations, the effects of the this emperor could even be talking about God. You know what I mean? Like, what is the truth about God? You could be looking into what is the truth about the Father God. You know what I mean? Like, what is really there? Okay. You're detaching from these untruths rather quickly. You may also feel a bit inspired, okay? A need to do something, a need to take action. Because I'm looking at the way he's clearly slamming his fist down, right? He's very stern, very, looks like he's ready to take action on something. Give me one more, Spirit. Five of Swords, self deception. Yeah, that comes along with it. The need to tell somebody like, this is not true. We've been believing such and such and such and such. They told us such and such and such and such. Like, this is a lie, and it's coming from the realization of how the trap, the wands of it all, the 10 of wands, the rock star energy, the knight of wands, right? Like, it's coming, that passion is coming from the idea of being able to clearly see how the illusion of it all affected you, and how it affected you. There's a desire that happens when you are awakening to try to save as many people, or speak or share with as many people what you are discovering. It's just there. Okay, it tempers itself after a little while, but in the beginning it's like, I just need to tell somebody, like, we looking at this all the wrong way. They taught us this and they sold us this, and this is not what it is. Okay, give me one more on the Emperor and the Eight of Wands. The reverse art, the reverse temperance. So there is maybe a little bit of impatience. Okay, you might want to temper it, slow down. Okay, slow down. Um, you might want what you might be discovering things very quickly, and you want that to slow down. All right. But I feel like this is more about detaching, right? Detaching from these untruths, and wanting to aid other people in doing the same. So, as most of us who have been on our spiritual awakening journey for a little while, um, you're gonna quickly learn that that fire is beautiful, and you should hold on to it, but temper it. But temper it. Everybody is not ready to see it, and to see it is a personal journey. Okay, it really is. Yes, we do share. We share with the understanding that those who are already kind of already knowing, already picking it up, will be able to pick up what you're putting down. And so we share with patience, we share with wisdom. We don't cast our pearls before the swine, so to speak, because those individuals with whom you can sharpen, with whom you can have that dialogue with, and it could be very little to no kickback, right? Those people are going to be drawn to you in just you being who you are. When we are first awakening, a lot of times we want to wake up everybody in our families. We want to wake up everybody in our friend groups. We want to wake up everybody on the job. You know what I mean? We want everybody to see the lie, right? See the untruth. See that we're thinking the wrong way. We're approaching it the wrong way. See that they're trying to trap us. Wake up. We want everybody to awaken, okay, because we have these truths, these things that are being lifted off of our backs, and so we want to quite naturally aid other people who maybe don't even see it that way, right? um when you do that and you're not using discernment, it causes a lot of kickback. It causes a lot of unpleasant um responses. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because some of the people that we have around us and we've affiliated ourselves with and that we connect to when we are not awakened, those relationships a lot of times need to go anyway. Okay. Most of them be karmic, most of them be trauma bonds. So, in you awakening and sharing, yes, temper it, but at the same time, it's kind of, you're not going to be able to avoid having people say, I don't want to hear that, man. You don't know what you're talking about. Like, I ain't with it. That's going to start showing you who no longer can go with you on your journey, on this exploration here. So if there's a vulnerability or a a fragility that you're feeling, right? Because maybe that's already happening. Maybe friendships are already needing to fall off. Lovers are already needing to fall off. Companions, co-workers, associates, family. You're already in that phase of having to kind of like, okay, I gotta either go be by myself or find some more higher vibrational people to be around. Then that's a natural part of the process. Okay, that's a natural part of the process. So you're exploring. Tell us more here, Spirit, about the exploring, please. Ooh, we have the Hangman in reverse. There is some things you are not aware of. Yeah. Okay, because it landed and it touched the Knight of Wands. So I feel like who I'm speaking to is somebody that has that new beginning, new awakening, um, zeal. Okay, you stepped into your awakening. You're starting to awaken to the untruths and to the burdens and to the need for healing, and there's a zeal that comes with that. Okay, Spirit is again bringing up that there are so many things more for you to explore. So if you are feeling a bit vulnerable, if you are feeling a bit overwhelmed as well, continue continue to pace yourself. Pace yourself. We have an Empress here on the bottom of the deck. Somebody may need to explore the mother, the great mother, right? You're exploring the masculine, God, There's a need, or the father, because them not the same thing. Um, there's a need to explore the mother. Tell me more. I'm gonna pull her out. Yeah, we have justice. Okay, so there's a need to balance, to go into the feminine aspect now. Male or female doesn't matter at all. Okay, because you're seeing some things about the masculine energy in the universe, in this realm, in the spirit. You're seeing some things. There's a need to go into the mother, the feminine aspect, to bring you some balance. All right, so, and some justice. Okay, and some justice. Clarify the justice. Give me one more. The chariot. Okay. So there's something that she wants to bring into you, awareness wise, healing wise, that you would need to actually pursue that aspect of deity, absolute deity. You would need to pursue that aspect, the feminine aspect, to pay some attention to that aspect, because this reverse hangman is about being stuck. This reverse chariot is about being stuck. So it's also giving me that she's waiting on someone. Take it how it reverberates. She's waiting on you to come in closer to the feminine, to seek the feminine aspect. Okay. Clarify, stay awake amidst confusion and it. My Lord. Amidst confusion and intense crisis, seek the light of understanding and resolve. Okay. That is the Knight of Wands. No, that's the Page of Wands. I'm sorry. I forgot in this deck. The Prince and the Princess are both pages. Um Give me one more. Stay awake. Prince of Wands. The Three of Swords. Healing. The chaos. The chaos. If there is some confusion, if there is some chaos, it is pointing to you the direction you need to go. Okay? It is reporting to you the chaos, seeking the light, seeking the understanding that the chaos is reporting to you, is bringing to you. That promotes a healing at the heart, the healing of the heart, which is directly, that's the domain of the feminine energy. Okay. Yep. To bring you balance in your masculine and feminine energy. To bring you balance. A healing that brings balance. All right. Give me one more. The reversed high priestess. This is about someone needing to balance their intuition, the discernment. You have the consciousness. You're awakening consciously to the truth, to the untruths, right? The consciousness is the domain of the absolute father. That is the domain of the masculine. But there's now a need to explore the heart space. There's a need to explore the feminine aspect, which she is the mother and the heart of it all, right? So, in doing that, it'll bring balance, okay? Because this high priest, high priestess energy is in the reverse. Tell me more. So when you have a lot of conscious awareness, and I'm speaking from personal experience, When you have a lot of conscious awareness about the things that go on in this realm, and you are awakened consciously, but you do not balance that with the heart, it brings a lot of chaos. Okay, it brings a lot of um the Hierophant, the devil, the Two of Wands. It also puts you in a certain rigidness, right? Consciousness is heavy without the heart to balance it. It's heavy. Just being awakened to the mechanisms and the workings of the third dimension, and the solidification of it all, and the systems and the lies and the truths, and just to be awakened to that in your mind and not have the heart. That's some heavy stuff there you got going for yourself. Okay, it brings about a reverse nine of cups. So yes, you are beautifully waking up. That is to be celebrated, but it can still bring an unpleasant experience because there's a neglection of the feminine energy. Okay? So someone could be very conscious but not necessarily spiritual, and there's a need to go into spirituality, the spirit behind what you see, not just the solidification, the physical, but the spirit behind it. Why is the world reflecting such things? Why is my life reflecting such things? What is behind the veil? What is behind the veil? Okay, that brings a balance between the feminine and the masculine that will put the nine of cups in the upright. In the upright, it's about wish fulfillment, which is at the heart. Heaven is in the heart. Okay, and the mother aspect of absolute deity is the queen of the heart. That is her throne. So getting out of the mind and exploring the heart a little more may be in order for someone. Okay, let me get another deck. Let's see, what else do you want someone in the collective to know? You know what, I rarely use this deck right here. Oh, you said use this one. Gratitude. Okay, I'm going to use the open heart deck. All right, mother, what do you want someone in the collective who is reverberating with this message, what do you want them to know? Chasing. She wants you to know to pursue her. Okay? Pursue her. Mm-hmm. Pursue her. Mm. Okay? She wants you to know to pursue her will help you find some peace through your awakening journey, some harmony. Pursue her as friend, as mother, as sister, right? In all of the ways that she can emanate. Tell us more. Escaping, avoiding, blocking, pushing away. Clarify. Escaping. She is the way out. She is the way. She is the way out. Tell me more. Which I know that to be true. Loyalty. Trusting. Reliability and believing. She needs someone to come towards her and allow her to show you her loyalty to you, that you can believe in her as feminine, as mother, okay? And you can trust on her and you can rely on her to show you the way out, whether it is the way out of the current reflection and mirror of chaos in your immediate life, or whether this is the way out, in the sense of soul and spirit being able to move on to another dimension and not having to continue to reincarnate. And if to be honest, it's both. Okay, it's both. Conflicted decisions, hot and cold, multiple choices. All right, clarify. Divine masculine. And this is a decision that needs to be made, um to step into this masculine energy. Now, you could feel like you're already in your divine masculine. There's a conflict because the divine masculine is divine once he surrenders to his feminine aspect. Okay? This masculine energy, all right, and the conflict that you may have with masculine energy. I've been there too, all right. As you look at the way masculine energy is playing out in the world, and though it has some beautiful things about it, a lot of it is heavy, a lot of it is dense, a lot of it is violent, a lot of it is absolutely irritating to feminine energy. Okay, and there's no other way to put it. All right, there's no other way to put it. A lot of things feminine energy tolerates and has been conditioned to believe to be acceptable. She's been conditioned to believe that that's what a man is supposed to do, right? But it really only breeds more heaviness, more density, in an uncomfortable situation for feminine energy. But you have some who will uphold it because they're conditioned to believe that that's what is supposed to happen, and this is what God wanted, and whatever. You know what I mean? Um, so somebody could feel conflicted with masculine energy right now. All right, your masculine energy as well as the way masculine energy is being played out with that chess piece. Okay, so it would absolutely require for you to forge a deeper relationship with the great mother, in her many emanations. If you are feminine, starting with the healing of your feminine energy. um if you are female, you know but even if you are male, starting with your feminine energy is the start, and then deepening your world view of that feminine energy, and then deepening your spiritual understanding of the feminine energy will help you move and see the masculine energy in its divine state again. Okay, again. Okay, so let's see what else. Chemistry, attraction, spark, passion. Chemistry, tell me more. Return. Second chance, opportunity, making amends. So there is an attraction between divine masculine and divine feminine that breeds a different kind of intimacy, a different kind of fire, right? A different kind of flame. This could be playing out in your life as you are having possibly a conflict with a masculine energy, you know, specifically someone, you know what I mean? Um, Someone you may have had chemistry with is shocking. Something shocking, turmoil, trouble, unexpected. Turmoil, trouble, unexpected. Someone who is, someone is conflicted in their masculine, or you are conflicted with this masculine, and that is mirroring to you a need to forge a deeper relationship with your feminine energy and with the great mother, the great feminine energy, right? There's attraction, so somebody wants to come back, a spark wants to come back, a spark can come back, but somebody may want a second chance to bring in more turmoil, or you gave someone a second chance based on sparks and attraction and chemistry, and it brought in more trouble. You have fantasy, daydreaming, imagining, fantasizing. Time, clarify fantasy, second chance, reconciliation, making amends, opportunity. Conflict. Yeah. So the idea that you can give something a second chance, there's a conflict. You may be starting to see um certain aspects of the masculine and the way it plays out in the world, or way it's playing out now. You're starting to see maybe an incompatibility with masculine energy, okay? With maybe your own masculine energy, like you wanting to put the masculine side of you down and go into your femininity, okay? Um, I advise that. I support it. I ain't gonna say advise it, but I support it for sure. Left out, walked away cold, because the masculine becomes divine when you pay attention to the feminine. Outside of that, it's just heavy masculine energy. It's just very dense and very heavy and very loud and very wrong and very rigid. Okay, very toxic, very unmothered, very needy, very clingy, very controlling, very manipulative. It's a lot of things that creates an unpleasant live life experience, whether it's in yourself or someone else. Okay, from the rooter to the tutor. You know, if it's heavy, dense, unmothered masculine energy playing out in the world or in your own life, in your own energy, it's just dense, it's heavy. Okay, so lightening that masculine energy requires allowing that feminine energy to come in and take the lead. Take the lead, and not allowing that unmothered masculine energy to return. And that's all a process. Unlearning it, and learning the correct way, or relearning the correct way to balance these energies is all a process. It's all a process. But in the feminine energy right now, someone is being called to come to the mother. Okay, pursue friendship, pursue harmony and balance by allowing her to bring in her energy into your concept of either consciousness, spirituality, or both. Have I abandoned possibilities? Free spirited adventure risk. So there may be some abandonment wounds here that is lying obscurely beneath the surface, secrets, mysteries. This could be some deep karmic wounds in the feminine energy that needs to be also explored. Abandonment, rejection. Mm. Okay, let's get another deck. Where would you want me to go? The storm, okay? The storm is here and happening. Your emotional storm is what allows you to turn yourself and transform yourself into the lightness of this butterfly, right? The lightness of a butterfly, the lightness, okay? So the storm, the tempest is a part of the process. And it's asking you to look into your emotions, into your heart. Tell me more, Spirit. I'm indifferent. Limits, no compassion, disinterested, neutral, emotional distance. Someone's going through an emotional storm that is causing you to maybe go numb or become indifferent. Indifferent is the opposite. It is the opposite of love. It's where you just don't care. You don't care. You're not interested. You don't feel one way or another. Okay? You don't feel one way or another, but just beneath the surface of that facade, there is a storm taking place. Healing sonar, hold your frequency, create positive emotions, evolve internally. Internally. So by you blocking out and being emotionally distant from the process, from your feelings, from the mother, from your heart, it's keeping you, it's actually blocking out a certain healing frequency that wants to come in. Journey. Hmm. And what I'm hearing her say is this is why you are here. Is to is to is to get out of this indifferent energy. Allow yourself to feel so healing can come in. So this journey voyage is kind of giving me the energies of why you actually chose to reincarnate at this particular time. Okay? Saturn return, sacred blossom. Mhm. So you could unlock something, so you could unveil something, so you could unravel something, so you could blossom into the sacredness of who you are at the soul and the spirit and at the heart level. Anger in attempt to mask insecurity at the heart level. Okay? Pity the fools who mocks the queen's grace. There's a need to remember for someone who resonates or reverberates with this message. There's a need to remember your crown and your royalty. Because even with the chasing card and the peace card that I got, and now the fantasy card that I got from the other deck, the purple was what jumped out to me at first. There's a need for someone to release their anger that they're using to mask their insecurities, okay, and to remember your crown. All right, confronting the beast within me, and confront those shadows, right? Confront those shadows that are being stirred up by the world. I got you. I know exactly what you mean. Confront those shadows. I know. I know. Dreamweaver. Yeah. You see you're starting to see. Okay? And if you're not just starting to see, you've been seeing. And, you know, and it's getting on your nerves. I get it. All right, there's a lot going on in the world under the leadership of foolish, unmothered masculinity. Okay, male or female. It's a lot going on that just the paradise that this lived experience can be, it's dampening the ability for this to be the paradise that it was designed to be. But that's why the inner paradise is how you change that. All right, it's not saying you're not going to still see it. It's just saying that you're going to be in a nine of cups everywhere you go. Okay, everywhere I go, I'm in a nine of cups. I saw it. I see it. They over there fighting. I don't know what I got to do. I'm gonna just go home because I'm happy wherever I go. I don't have to be here right now. You feel me? It's a paradise that goes with you when you allow yourself to heal at the heart level. In every dimension, there is something going on in every realm. Okay, as an individual myself who travels dimensionally, and I'm pretty sure many of the collective know what I'm saying. There is something going on in all of them, right, that has to be fixed or shouldn't be that way or whatever, you know what I'm saying, because it's the paradise, the higher realm, the higher healed version of your heart consciousness is what you have to transmit into every dimension, right? Because outside of that, it doesn't matter what dimension you're in, you're gonna be having problems, because the heart is the paradise, the heart is your higher consciousness. The crows, omen, ancient rituals, dark wisdom, death and rebirth. Could be seeing a lot of crows right now. That is a sign of transformation. That is a sign that something is dying and something is being reborn again. Allow them energetically to consume what is no longer needing to live. Let them have it. Okay? That's what they there for. It's the cleanup crew. Okay? This is the cleanup crew. And allow that rebirth to take place. Misleading mask, bogus, shading true self. Yeah, that's what they're trying to eat away is the mask. The mask is not needed. Okay. One thing I do love about the mother aspect is how she teaches you that all of you is beautiful and should be um embraced, and the mask that we put on in order to navigate this world and all of its complexities is dishonoring that beauty, right? Even there are things about you that are imperfect about you, and we use masks to try to keep people from seeing where we're flawed. You don't need that mask. The flaws about you, I'm seeing another card in another deck. The flaws about you, it makes you just as unique as anything else, just as beautiful as anything else. Let me see if I can find this card real quick. There it is. Right? The flaws, the cracks give character. It's why you funny like that. It's why you cute like that. It's why you know what I mean? You able to put your words together like that. It's why you can say it in a way that somebody else can receive it. It is why you are highly favored. The flaws, the scars show how many battles you've been through and overcome and come out of. Energy field, you know? Energy shift. Yeah. So you're going through an energy shift. Shift your energy. Allow yourself to go through an energy shift. The mother brings in that energy shift. Lighten you up. Spiritual rooting. The heart. See? The heart. Root yourself in your heart center. Root yourself in your heart space. Don't avoid it. Don't become indifferent. Don't allow the rigidness of the world and the rigidness of your own unmothered masculine. Allow that consciousness to go within and let the feminine mother that aspect of yourself. The world view of you is going to change when you just let that happen alone. You ain't even got to worry about what's going on out there. If you just allow your consciousness, Allow that unmothered masculine to go into the heart, uncover, unlock. You know what I'm saying? Deal with whatever is there, whether it is abandonment, whether it is rejection. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's being conflicted in your energy in the masculine. Um, Process through it and allow her to mother that. Okay? Allow her to mother that. All right, family. I think this has been the message. Thank you so much for tapping in. I hope that this brought some confirmation, clarity to you. All right. I appreciate all of you, my soul tribe, my Starseed family, my subscribers, my viewers who rock with your girl real tough. I appreciate your support and your love, and I send it right back to you. Okay. If you are hearing me or seeing me for the first time, this is your official invitation to subscribe if you would like to join the tribe. Okay. You're also invited to join the membership if you would also like to. Your support in advance is greatly appreciated. If you need a personal reading, my information is in the description and it will take you to my website and you can book a personal reading. Okay. Make sure you leave me a comment, let me know how this reverberated for you. um Share and hype it up if you choose to. Peace, family.